It's 1800s France, and in the middle of the woods, a coven of witches has abducted a man. They are about to sacrifice him, but someone shoots her. A bunch of witch hunters start to shoot and burn them. The head, which tries to flee with the board, but gets killed. Her blood soaks into the witchboard, making it cursed. The witchboard is now in a museum, and two robbers come there to rob it. But one of them betrays the other and shoots him, only to flee with the board himself. Emily is a recovering heroin addict who has moved to New Orleans to open a restaurant and start a new life. Some of her friends have joined her as well. She is picking mushrooms in the woods when she suddenly hears someone crying. She starts to go deeper into the forest, and suddenly a cat jumps in front of her. She follows it and finds the witchboard there. Christian appears and finds it beautiful as well. She says that it would look good as a decorative piece in their restaurant, and they should keep it. But they don't know that the robber's rotten corpse is lying right there. The other robber is still alive, and he meets Alexander Baptiste. He says that he will try his level best to look for the board, but Alexander says that there is no need for that. Suddenly, three of his assistants tie him up and slit his throat. They collect his blood to perform a ritual. It's the opening night of their restaurant, and all their friends and family have shown up to support them. Richie is helping them out in every aspect. Suddenly, a girl named Brooke shows up, which leaves them stunned, as she used to be Christian's ex. Richie says that he wanted to try his luck with her, so he invited her. Things are icy cold between them, as Brooke wouldn't let go of a chance to flaunt her success as an archaeologist. Emily tries to ease things and shows her the board, which immediately piques her interest. She says that it's a pendulum board that the ancient Egyptians used. You dangle something in front of it to perform a ritual or contact someone from beyond. She tells Emily that she can get answers in the form of yes or no. Emily is intrigued and starts to use it right then and there. She asks a couple of questions but doesn't get answers. She concludes that it's all bullshit, but suddenly fires ignite everywhere and a burning crow pops out of the chimney. They manage to throw it away, but everyone is terrified. Brooke says that this was a sign that the board has powers. The next morning, the whole gang is setting up the restaurant. Richie says that he walked Brooke home last night, but she is still in love with Christian. Emily is getting ready, but she can't take her mind off the board. She takes it again and starts to play around. Suddenly, she sees the news of it being stolen from the museum, but the newsreader is none other than Alexander in disguise. She starts to use it, and the pendulum starts to work this time. Richie hears some commotion, and when he looks down to check, he finds a bunch of cats that have suddenly appeared. He says that it is happening because of the board, and he can feel it in his bones. Emily says that she lost her engagement ring a couple of days back, and the pendulum shows her the way. Suddenly, a witch appears in the restaurant. A lot of things start to happen one by one, which petrifies them. Suddenly, the meat slicer turns on by itself, but just when Richie is about to shut it off, he slips, and his hands get sliced off. They immediately try to stop the bleeding and look for his hand, but a cat appears out of nowhere and steals it. Christian immediately runs to look for the hand, but fails to locate it. Emily comes back elated and says that she found her engagement ring. He tells her about the accident, leaving her horrified. But what they don't know is that if you ask the board for something, then there will be a price to pay. Christian goes back to the restaurant, but to his disbelief, Richie has passed away from bleeding. They are at his funeral, but suddenly, Emily's supplier, Jesse, shows up. Christian sees him and picks a fight, threatening him to never try to get close to them. Back at the house, Christian is taken aback to find the same cat inside. Emily says that she wants to keep it as it showed up right after she found her ring. Christian is hesitant at first, but he can't say no to her. She also tells him that she found the ring by using the board. He is creeped out and asks her not to use it again. She goes to sleep while Christian does a little digging about the board. She starts to see strange visions and wakes up. The lights start to flicker maniacally, and suddenly, a bunch of hands grab her and drag her inside. She wakes up in a different realm, and suddenly, a witch attacks her. She wakes up yet again, and Christian comes to check on her. She is frantic, and he thinks that she might be using again. Christian says that it's all because of the board, and they should give it back to the police, but Emily says that it was stolen, and cops were killed. To add to that, she is a recovering addict, and they will convict her as a thief. Christian says that he is going to fix everything and take away the board. Christian meets Brooke and tells her that he is worried about Emily as she is growing obsessed with that board. Brooke suggests that she knows someone who is an expert in these things, and they should meet him. Unbeknownst to them, one of Alexander's assistants is eavesdropping on their conversation. Emily is taking a shower when suddenly the door gets locked. She feels someone's presence 3 times, and hot water pours on her and burns her. She tries her best to escape, but 2 hands emerge out of the water and drag her inside. She finds herself inside another realm and has a vision. A woman named Naga used to practice Ayurveda and help townsfolk. One day, The bishop came there with his army. He found what she was doing and accused her of being a witch. He even tried to take advantage, but she bit him in retaliation. She was then beaten up and thrown out of the village. They started to stone her, but suddenly it started to thunder. Naga regained her strength and cursed them by saying that she would make their words come true and come back as a witch to take revenge. Emily gets back to her senses, but finds her burns missing. Brooke takes Christian, who seems to be at a house, and Alexander turns out to be the owner. It seems to be a cult that performs ritualistic practices. He is being extremely suggestive and says that Brooke seems to have a connection with Christian. He touches Christian, and suddenly he has a vision of making love to Brooke. They tell Alexander about everything, and he asks where Emily got the board from. He lies and says that he isn't aware of it. Jesse calls Emily and says that he has some strong stuff that can help her, but she cuts the call. Brooke draws a picture of the board and shows it to Christian. He says that it is what he feared. He says that there was a town in France where every villager was found slaughtered, but it turned out that people went mad and killed each other. But it turns out that it was Naga who started a coven of her own. She then used her spell to destroy the village to get her revenge. Christian also reveals that he knows how Emily got the board. He also reveals that his grandfather was none other than the bishop who killed Naga, but paid for it with his life. He comes back home, but Emily starts to act rather seductively. He asks if Jesse has got in touch with him, but she says that the board will never let that happen. Before he can ask any further, she forces herself on him. Jesse is at one of his gatherings and plans to make a young girl one of his victims. Suddenly, the pendulum starts to move on its own. The cat reaches the same gathering. Christian also feels someone's presence there. But before he can do anything, Emily takes control and slowly turns into Naga. Jesse is about to inject the girl, but the cat jumps on him and takes his eyes out. He stumbles and falls from the building to his death. Emily also gets back to herself the moment she hears the church bell. She immediately freaks out and says that she has no idea about what's happening to her. But Christian promises that he will help her and get her out of this situation. The next morning, he brings both Brooke and Alexander to his house. Alexander pets the kitty like he already knows it. He then approaches Emily and tells her that she accidentally started it, but they need to close it. And once that's done, she will be able to go back to her normal life. He then asks everyone to turn off all their phones. He then starts the ritual using the pendulum. He starts counting to 10 and she falls asleep. She goes into the flashback again and sees that the bishop has captured Naga. He orders her to show him how it works. She obliges and starts using it. It's also revealed that the pendulum is made of her severed finger. She starts to perform the ritual simultaneously with Alexander as well. A commotion takes place as something starts to happen to Emily. The cross rips out of her neck and both of them fall unconscious. But soon things settle down and she gets back to her senses. But she speaks in French and starts to act rather differently. She then gives the board back to Alexander and invites him to join them for the opening. Christian feels something is off, but he can't pinpoint it. The real Emily now wakes up and finds herself in Naga's body. She begs them to let her go, but they are convinced that she is a witch and say that she will be burned at the stake. The woman next to her cell tells her that the witch was successful. She has traded her body with Emily's, and now she will be the one dying. Naga, on the other hand, goes to the forest and collects mushrooms from the dead body. She then asks the chef to use them for the opening. Everyone shows up at the opening with the critics as well. Emily shows up dressed seductively. Soon, Alexander comes there as well and sits with Brooke. He says that he needs to discuss some business with her. Everyone prepares the dishes using the mushrooms. Emily goes to serve the critic, but something inside stops her. The real Emily's conscience becomes a hurdle. Alexander notices it and goes there. He ignites the fire in Naga again by saying that these are the same people who once kicked her out of the village. Naga takes over her again, and she goes to serve the food. Everyone is served their food at the same time, and they start to enjoy it. Brooke is about to eat the mushroom, but Alexander prohibits her. Everyone soon starts to feel uneasy and bursts out in laughter. Soon, everyone starts to act erratically. A waiter gives out one knife to each table. The cat also brings out the hand and puts it on a plate, and Emily takes it away to serve. The critic sees it and screams in horror. One of the chefs starts to hallucinate and tries to attack Christian. Everyone becomes bloodthirsty and starts to rip each other apart. Emily transforms completely and enjoys the recreation of the scene that she witnessed centuries ago. A man is about to attack Brooke, but Alexander finishes him off. Christian tries to save Emily, but she leaves with Alexander before that. The cops soon come and try to arrest Christian, but he flees from the scene. He immediately runs out, and Brooke asks him to get inside her car, which he does. They start to drive off, and she says that they immediately need to go to Alexander's place. They both manage to get in, but it turns out to be a trap. Brooke says that she doesn't want Christian dead, as she loves him. She also reveals that she was in the plan all along and leaves. The men kidnap him and take him to Alexander. Alexander tells him that Emily was always meant to be with him. She needed to repeat the scene of the fateful day to be reborn again, and he helped her to do so. He says that he is doing what his great-grandfather couldn't do, and with Emily's help, he will gain the gift of eternal life. The real Emily, on the other hand, is being taken to be burned at the stake. They tie her up to the stake and set it on fire. Alexander says that Emily was always a witch, but she was just never sure about it. He reveals that she is from Naga's bloodline, and this was her destiny. Emily comes there covered in a black veil. Alexander places a bet and says that if Emily recognizes him, then he will set them free, but if not, Emily will forever be his. Emily comes towards him and kisses him, but she has transformed and doesn't recognize him. Christian seizes the opportunity and grabs Emily hostage. He threatens that he will take her to set her free, but Alexander knows very well that he doesn't have the guts to do that. He says that he will soon rule the world and she will be his queen. Emily soon becomes violent and tries to attack Alexander. Christian takes this opportunity and sets the board on fire. Brooke also changes sides to save Christian. The board slowly burns to ashes and Naga's soul leaves her body. It goes back to her and she gains the power to stop the fire from burning her. The king runs to behead her, but she grabs him and they are burned to ashes. Christian, on the other hand, tries to save Emily, but Alexander shoots him multiple times. He then tries to save the board, but Christian throws alcohol on it, which destroys it completely. Emily finally gets back to her senses and finds the gun. She points it towards Alexander, but he tries to manipulate her. He says that someone weak like her can't do that, but she shoots him in the head. She tries to save Christian, but it's too late. He reassures her and says that he will always be there with her. Brooke comes and takes her to safety. Both girls have returned to safety. The cops try to bag up Alexander's body, but he is still alive. After a couple of months, Brooke goes to the Vatican and gives them the board that she managed to rescue. She offers to sell it to them, and they give her uncut diamonds as payment. It turns out that Emily has joined hands as well. Immediately, the Pope tries to use it, and the witch possesses him as well. You are watching a recap of the 2024 film Witchboard. Hit the like button if you have enjoyed the video. Subscribe to the channel and get notified about our next video. Till then, you may also like this.